Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to Against the Public for October 10th. I'm Dana Lane. Thank you for joining me. It's been a couple days. We've had such a small schedule that I didn't really have anything to give after I put all my plays up on the website. So we're back again today, and I was kind of thinking, well, let's do things a little bit differently. So now that baseball season's winding down, I wanted to think about what kind of video that I could give everybody kind of a real head start on their wagering and give them an idea of where I might go very early on in the handicapping process. So since the name of the show is Against the Public, I incorporated that element into the show. So from now on, I'm going to look at early moves by the public that have moved a number, but also games that we should get on right now and try to anticipate where the number is going, where we can get the best number, and whether we should wait or whether or not we should jump on these games right now. The downside is I might not have 3 free plays every day. I do today, but we will try to do that. But I will do my best to give you as much content as possible on the game, and it's going to be on a game where the number has moved already. So just want to dive maybe a little bit deeper into the games, and then obviously we're going to try to pick games that go against the public. After we finish this, please go to Pickdawgz.com. You can find my premium National Football League and college football plays for Thursday, along with Major League Baseball, NHL, and Game 1 of the WNBA Finals. Remember, you can get my 3-pack for just $49.99. Football and MLB postseason will be $54.99. Every 3-pack, every individual play always comes with their Pick Dawgz win guarantee. You must profit or receive an immediate site credit for the purchase price. In addition, there's only one way to get every play that I release. And man, this is the time to do it if you haven't done it right now, because we are on a roll. We'll talk about that in a second. Arm yourself with an all-access pass, and you can do that over the next 30 days for less than $11 a day, the next 90 days for less than $10 a day. Better yet, guys, this is the time, because the avalanche of sports is starting to happen. Get involved with the 365-day-a-year pass. Comes out to be about $3.70 a day. Gives you every play in the National Football League, college football, NHL, Major League Baseball, the rest of Major League Baseball, and of course right up to this point next year, college basketball, NBA is coming. It is an exciting time of year, so make sure you don't miss out on another best bet winner. Again, currently all access members, and it's I get on one of these runs not once in a while, but I get on one of these runs about every month and a half, and it doesn't stop for a very long time. Right now we're in the midst, after last night, a 13-3 run overall, but I wanted to break that down a little bit more for you in case you're interested in specific things. Over the last 7 days, all access customers have enjoyed 58% winners. By sport, we enjoyed a 4-2 mark last week in the NFL, 8-4 in college football over the previous 7 days. That's 67% winners in football over the last week. After cashing out last night, Major League Baseball customers have won 56% of their selections over the last 30 days. And let's not forget about the WNBA, because we're going into the finals winning 58% of our plays over the last 30 days. That is the consistency that your bankroll deserves, and we expect to continue that consistency and improve on that as we get closer to the end of the year. So basically, that's all that needs to be said. Please get yourself involved with an all-access pass right now. Now, today's focus is going to be on the National Hockey League, and we're going to start things off 7:30 Eastern Time. Game 81-82, Utah Hockey Club, please get a nickname, against the New York Islanders. The Islanders minus $1.55, 6 under, minus 16. The number played out exactly the way I had hoped. It opened up at 5.5 at Westgate and at Stations Casinos, and then the public came in. They pounded that over, and so far we have 94% of the money on the over, along with 91% of the tickets. If your book is still at 5.5, which I don't think it is too much anymore, but I do see one here. Just wait. This is going to burst up to 6, and especially if you're in Vegas, because line shoppers are going to spot that 5.5 and a sea of 6s. They're going to pound it up to 6, it's not going to be there very long. So just kind of sit back and relax. And if you don't have that 6 yet, keep in mind that you will. That bubble is going to burst pretty soon. The Utah Hockey Club is coming off their inaugural victory as a franchise. Yes, as a franchise. I know they were in Phoenix, but this is according to the NHL, this is a completely different franchise, and all the numbers as the Coyotes will not carry over to the Utah Hockey Club. They beat Chicago 5-2. There isn't any ties to Arizona, so as I said, this is their first win as a franchise. For the first game and the first win of the year, there were still plenty of teaching moments, which as a coach, you couldn't ask for anything more. That's exactly what you want. You want to win, and you also want to have a lot of things to complain about, and they certainly do, especially on the blue line, something Bill Armstrong wanted to address in the offseason. But if I'm nitpicking, they could have been a lot better defensively, because the Hawks had plenty of chances in this game, including hitting a couple posts against Connor Ingram. There were some positive, especially coming out of the preseason, where I didn't think Utah looked very good, but they turned it on in Game 1 against Chicago, going 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. This was the area I've done some podcasts where I said, boy, I'm really worried about them on the PK. Well, so far so good, and I know it's the Blackhawks, but so far so good. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, and that's very important when you're betting totals. I want a team that can kill penalties. So far, they have proven that they could so far against Chicago. But the Islanders are going to be playing their first game of the season after losing in 5 games against the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round of the postseason last year. This is not a roster that's gone through a lot of changes in the postseason. That's good in some ways, but they all know that they need to get better defensively, which has always been part of the Islanders' culture, at least for the last decade or so. Sometimes you need to get better. Sometimes you get better defensively by getting better offensively, just because your forwards are able to carry the puck more, which obviously gives your team more time of possession. Now, New York went out. They added Anthony Duclair, who will play at that top line with Bo Horvat. 24-goal season last year with San Jose and Tampa Bay, and then Maxime Siplakov, who will be on that second line with Brock Nelson. Came over from the KHL, so we're going to have to see how that goes. It's always kind of 50-50, but everybody that I've talked to that watches these practices said that he looks like he's the real deal. Now, being from Vegas, and if you remember back in the first season for Vegas when Vladimir Shipachyov was supposed to come over and be this fantastic player for Vegas, that just did not work out. So always kind of apprehensive about players coming from the KHL to the NHL, because it is an upgrade in talent. And but everybody that has seen him says he belongs on that second line. So we will definitely see. We know he's got good bloodline. So we'll see how that works out. They've added 2 top 6 forwards, so that's going to take, or should take, some pressure off of Varlamov and Ilya Sorokin. So we'll see how that goes as the season progresses. I'm banking on Seattle being much better defensively in Game 2. I think it's goal number 1 for the Islanders to get back to a defensive identity under Patrick Waugh, which is where they're at their best. So I'm going to go under the 6 minus $1.16 as your first free play. Game number 2, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 85-86 is your rotation number. Dallas Stars on the road, minus $1.16, 6 over, minus 20 against the Nashville Predators. There hasn't been a huge budge on the number, but the juice has been a different story in this. We've seen 82% of the tickets and 84% of the money on the over, which has pushed this juice from minus $1.05 over to minus $1.20. I will say, with the way that the money is moving, it wouldn't hurt to wait to grab a 6.5, or perhaps grab a 6.5 under. We've already seen FanDuel move from 5.5 to 6.5 in an hour and a half. So the rest might not be far behind. So you want to be patient. Anytime, really. We know this. We know in the NHL and we know in Major League Baseball, bettors are going to be on the over and they're going to be on the favorite. I am a guy who usually is on the under, and then it's, either way I want to play on the side. But I would usually be on the under. I will wait till these numbers hit their peak, and then I will take advantage of those numbers, and that's what I would suggest for you to do as well. The Stars will be playing their first game after losing in 6 games to the Edmonton Oilers last year in the conference finals. This will be a return for Matt Duchene, who was a 40-goal scorer for Nashville in 2021 and 22. He did spend 4 seasons there, so welcome back, Matt Duchene. It should be noted that Jason Robertson did not play in the preseason for the Dallas Stars, but he will be in the lineup for this game. There might be some rust to begin with, as he's playing with Roop Hintz and Wyatt Johnson. So expect maybe a little bit of rust there until Jason Robertson gets back to 100%. I think in a few, not that he's hurt, it's just he gets back to that comfort level, being where you can lean on him to be a point-a-game player. That's all I mean. I think in the first few games, we're going to see Dallas play a very, very much of a Pete DeBoer game, where it's going to be puck possession. They're going to be aggressive in the defensive zone. They're going to try to create their transition off of that aggressiveness. And of course, if you're Nashville, you want to get the puck off your stick as quickly as you can, knowing that Dallas is going to play that style of game. Nashville lost in the first round to the Vancouver Canucks last season. Made some significant changes, including the addition of 40-goal scorer Jonathan Marchessault and Steven Stamkos playing on that second line with Tommy Novak centering that line. That should be a dynamic line, and I get why the public is on the over on this, because there are some big names playing in this game. For those of us who have been in this business, we know to shy away from the obvious. And because of those factors, because the whole world is anticipating Nashville being a much better, one of the top offensive teams in the league, which they should end up being that. But game number 1, it's sit back and relax, expect the unexpected until we can see for ourselves that this team is on all cylinders offensively. At this point, we are guessing about what every team's identity is in the National Hockey League, but the reality is every team in this league wants to focus on defensive responsibility. So I'm going to go under and grab that even money and your second free pick. And then game number 3, 7:30 Eastern Time, 87-88, St. Louis Blues on the road against the San Jose Sharks. Blues minus $1.65, 6 is your total. As expected, public is pouring money in on the St. Louis Blues. 84% of the tickets, 78% of the money is on St. Louis. Professional money has said not so fast. They have pushed that money line down from minus $1.75 to $1.68. That's a consensus number. That means it's time to buy, because the public is certainly will come back tomorrow when it wakes up, and will come back tomorrow and raise that price throughout the day. So we're going to try to get as much plus money as we can in this game. San Jose money came in early, as you would expect, because the pros want to take advantage of the largest number available. And since we've seen a couple steam moves on the Blues, and that always gives me some pause, considering one of those large wagers have come out of New Jersey at FanDuel, which is not exactly a hot spot known for sharp hockey wagering. So I always kind of take a step back from that and say, okay, well, good, I'm on the other side of that. I do see plus 145 at the Westgate if you're in town here, but the consensus plus number right now is $1.39, so we're going to go with that. The Blues are coming off an impressive win at Seattle to begin the season after taking a 3-2 decision as a $1.38 underdog. They fell behind in that game 2-0. St. Louis scored 3 times in a minute 55, but outside of that, I thought Seattle was the better team. And if we dig a little deeper into this game, you would know that St. Louis was probably a little bit lucky to win this game, because in the first and third period, St. Louis just managed 12 total shots. They had more shots in the second period, 13, than they had in the first and third period combined. I thought they looked slow at time, especially at times, especially that in the top six, where you would expect them not to be slow, especially with the Buchnevich line, which is the second line. And yes, I'm aware that Jordan Kyrou scored twice, but I'm just talking about the overall flow. I thought was not very good outside of a couple minutes. That to me, yes, I see the result, and this is a matter of, or this is the difference between guys looking at the result and saying, well, St. Louis, clearly was the better team in this, even though they were a pretty significant underdog. We were surprised, and of course we were on the other side of that game. But it's just, this is why it's important to watch these games. And of course, when you watch in San Jose, you know that they're looking to wipe the horrible taste out of their mouth from last season. The Sharks look decent in the preseason. I was really impressed how they played against Vegas, even though preseason absolutely means zero. So, but you do want to see a certain compete level. I thought the Sharks had that. They probably are going to be another, a bottom five team again this year, but it's really their compete level that I'm looking at more than to improve on wins and losses. And I think their compete level is going to be way better than it was last year. It really can't be any worse. This is going to be a year of watching kids grow up for San Jose. Speaking of kids, how this team does down the middle is really going to determine their success. Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith is going to be part of that young group that's going to come in and hopefully develop and turn into fantastic NHL players. They're gonna be thrown into the fire right away, playing on that first and second line. The Sharks should be fired up after getting off to the Sharks should be fired up to get off to a good start after last year. And I still think the St. Louis team has plenty of holes, despite a first win against Seattle, which everybody's excited about, but. Man, I'm telling you, if you watch this game, they had a lot of holes to deal with. So I think San Jose plus $1.41 is the right play here. So that does it for your Thursday free plays. Please go to pickdawgz.com. Get involved with one of my many available packages, including my all-access pass that gives you every play that I release for one low price. Don't forget, all my packages have been prorated for the month of October, so don't miss out this week or weekend. We are on an incredible roll, so make sure you join us for Thursday. Here's your Thursday free play recap. Seattle, New York Islanders under 6 minus $1.16. Nashville, Dallas under 6 even money. And San Jose plus $1.39. That does it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm excited about the start of the National Hockey League. We're off to a fantastic start, and this is really the time of year where I personally start to shine. So make sure you get involved with an all-access pass. Let's pound out the rest of 2024, and let's stuff some money in our wallet for the weekend. For Against the Public, I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Thursday.